Hey guys, good afternoon. Good afternoon. I am going to be giving some study tips today. Some study tips for those of you who maybe have testing anxiety. Now, if you didn't already see my video last week, I did already do a video on study tips, but this particular video is going to be especially for those of you who have testing anxiety. So, first, I have a question that I got in my email that I'm going to answer first, and then I'll get into the study tips for testing anxiety because this is going to take me right into it. Okay. So this person says, "Thank you, Miss K, for all that you do. Happy Medical Assistant Month to you." Now, guys, you know that it's Medical Assistant Appreciation Week next week, but I decided October is going to be Medical Assistant Appreciation Month. So this person says, "I need you to help calm me down and reassure me." She says, "LOL, I'm 56. I got my certification in 2013. I worked for ENT for 8 years and I never recertified. They didn't require it, and I thought I was at my forever job. Then I went into pain management and they did not require me to be certified. I started a job on the 28th in cardiology and I sit for the NHA CCMA on the 25th. Things have changed so much and I forgot everything. I signed up for your MA refresher course and I freaked out more. When you say to take note, does that mean it will be on a test, like the number of bones in certain areas, naming the muscles, etc.? I also have the NHA study guide and I follow all your videos. It's just your refresher seems to be more in detail. And I was just wondering how close it is to the test. I hope you understand all my rumbling. And once again, thank you again. You are truly a blessing to other. One last thing, I'm horrible at test taking, always have been. This is why I wanted to address this because she says she's horrible at test taking, meaning she has test anxiety. I get that a lot. I have students like that who are very good, very smart, very good at what they do hands on. But then when it comes to taking a test, they feel like they do horribly, or they do worse than what they would normally have done if it wasn't a test, right? If it was an assignment, they would do well, but because it's a test. So a couple of things in here I want to address. First, she mentioned that she got certified when she first worked, but then actually said she said she she never recertified. So this one thing I want to point out before I get into these tips is the importance of keeping up with your certification, because as she mentioned, she never needed the certification at her former jobs, but now she does and she's forgotten everything. So I just wanted to remind people that when you get certified, get your CEUs, keep up with your certification. And I'll actually have Brian on Wednesday of next week to talk about CEUs and the importance of them and how to get them. Also, she said that she has my refresher course. So for anybody that doesn't know, I have a medical assistant refresher course at marefreshercourse.com. You see it on the screen. It is for anybody who is about to take certification and need a study guide. It is an online study guide. I created it. I used the CCMA test plan, the CMA test plan, as well as the RMA test plan. It is for any medical assistant certification, and it is very close to the type of questions you'll see on the test. So I do recommend, if you haven't already, get my study guide. It's at marefreshercourse.com. The link is there. It's only $27 at the time of this video. So I do recommend that. And it is very close to what you'll see because I use the test plan to create the modules. In on my study guide, I have modules that I teach a lesson, and then there are quizzes right after the lesson. And then at the end, there are several practice tests. So yes, it is very close to it. And then the last thing I want to get into, the next thing I want to address, she said, when I say take note, what does that mean? So I always say when you guys are going through your modules and your practice test to take notes, what I mean is that when I say take notes while you're going through your modules and your practice test, I mean things that you already should have notes from school, right? When I say take notes when you're going through the practice test and the study guide, and specifically mine, I mean take note of things that you didn't know, right? So if you see something that I mentioned, let's say you didn't know the difference between, a pustule and a macule, write that down as I explained it in the video, what they are. You know what I mean? So anything, or if you didn't know what an assignment of benefits was, right? When you see those things, you add it. And she mentioned the bones, like, do you have to know how many bones? So yeah, the 206 bones, but they may not necessarily ask that on a question, but you still have to know it, right? And then she says she's horrible at test taking. So that's why I wanted to do this video. So for anybody that's here who feel like you have test anxiety, or you feel like you always do bad at testing, I'm going to give you guys some tips for that. And yes, it's for the AAMA as well. So I use all of those test plans to make sure I'm covering everything that's going to be on the test. Um, oh, Ashley, you have my study guide, right? You said you got a 74 on your course. Oh yeah, you can retake it. Ashley, can you do me a favor and send me an email? You should get an email. So the email that you got from when you signed up, you can respond back to that same email. It's like Kendra at MA refreshercourse.com. I think it is, but you can respond back to that email or just send me an email and just let me know which one. But I can reset it. Yeah, I can reset it. Um, all right. So, and again, I gave study tips last week, guys. So make sure you watch that video. I gave 10 study tips. So I'm about to give some more study tips, and this is especially for people who have testing anxiety. And you may see me looking back and forth. That's because I have some notes on another page on my screen. So the very first thing you want to do for anybody who and of course this can apply to you if you don't have testing anxiety, but this is especially important for those of you who do. So first of all, if you know you normally do, I'm gonna use her words. She says she does horrible on tests, or if you have testing anxiety, you want one of the first things you want to do. You want to start early, okay, with your study and start early and pace yourself. Okay, so you might say, you know what, I'm going to give myself a month to study. I'm not saying you have to, but you want to start early and pace yourself. You don't want to if your test is already scheduled, you don't want to wait to the last minute and cram. You want to have time to study. You want to have that time to pace yourself and study. Okay. Because last minute cramming, that's going to heighten your anxiety. If you have testing anxiety, if you're trying to cram at the last minute and you're trying to memorize, first of all, I don't like the word memorize. Whenever I hear my students say memorize, or any of you guys that I've had one-on-one sessions with, when I hear memorize, it makes me cringe because I don't want anybody to try to memorize anything. You should be absorbing it. You should be learning it, not memorizing. Memorizing means you look at something and you remember it just so you can go take the test. The only thing that I would give you a pass on, like memorizing, is really like those blood ranges, the blood work, the labs. I don't mind that because that is something you may have to, keep looking at right before you go take your test, and your ranges, stuff like that. But you don't want to last minute cram and just memorize, because that can make you even more anxious. Okay. Another thing that I recommend doing, create a relaxed study environment. Okay. So if you get anxious when it comes to testing, when you're studying, try to have a relaxed environment so you can focus, right? Be organized. Try to be organized. I do recommend having your administrative information separate from like your medical terminology, right? Have that in one spot, and then maybe your anatomy in another notebook. Keep your stuff organized. Create a relaxed environment. Even if you got to light a candle, play some soothing music, just create an environment that's going to help you stay relaxed and focused. Okay. Also, another thing that helps with anxiety is using deep breathing techniques. Okay. I don't know if any of you guys ever practice like mindfulness and breathing before, anytime you go before your study sessions, or when you have a break. If you just kind of help with your deep breathing techniques and mindfulness, or meditating before your study session, just help yourself get focused and centered. Okay. And it'll help you retain the information. Okay. Also, let me look up in the comments just to make sure. Hey Deidre, hey Candace, hey guys, hey Cray. And I see you guys are leaving stuff in the chat. Don't worry, I'm gonna come to this. I want to get through these tips and then I'm gonna come back to the questions. Another thing you want to, so first I say start early, right? Start studying early and pace yourself. Then I said create a relaxed study environment. Another thing you want to do is use deep breathing techniques. The next thing I'll tell you is try to um, focus on the positive, right? Focus on what you can control. When you start thinking about everything that can go wrong, it's going to make you even more anxiety. Okay. What are some, I say even more anxiety, it's going to make you even more anxious. Okay. Try to focus on the things that you can control. What are some things that you can control? You can control your study habits, right? You can control, how you prepare, right? You can control your understanding, how well you understand the material. You focus on those things that you actually can control. Okay, because you can control you can control the things that I just mentioned, creating a relaxed study environment. You can control, how you pace yourself and things like that. Try not to focus on everything that can go wrong. Try not to focus on, oh, I might fail, I might fail, I might fail. focus on you might pass. You just might pass. Another thing I would say is when you're studying, try to take short breaks, but let them be frequent. Okay. If you say, okay, I'm going to study 2 hours today, you might say, okay, for 25 minutes, I'm going to study, then I'm going to take a 5 minute break. Okay. The next 25 minutes, I'm going to study, and I'm going to take a 5 minute break. If you kind of take a break, allow your mind to rest a little bit and allow yourself to actually absorb what you're studying. Okay. So that way you may not feel as overwhelmed. All right. Another thing I'm going to mention is use positive affirmation. So I just mentioned, sometimes you focus on what you can't control. You focus on what can go wrong. Speak positively to yourself. I can do this. I can pass. I know it's easier said than done, but when you have those negative thoughts, try to counter those thoughts with positive thoughts. Okay. Tell yourself, I'm going to pass this test. Yes, sometimes I get anxious when it comes to tests, but guess what? I've been studying. I'm ready. I can do this. I can handle this, right? If you just kind of try to shift your mindset, that can help reduce your anxiety. Okay. It won't necessarily happen overnight, but these things that I'm telling you, these are things that I want you to start practicing. Okay. Another thing you can do, and this is what I recommend, whether you have testing anxiety or not, if you're taking a CCMA, you only get 3 hours. Well, you get 3 hours. It sounds like a lot, but it's not. If you're taking an RMA, you only get 2 hours. So start to simulate your exam conditions, right? So because you only get 3 hours on a CCMA, when you go through the practice test, set a timer for 3 hours. Act like you're already on test day. Try to make it seem like you're taking a test. Like act like you're, I don't know, if you're still at home, your mom. Let your mom pretend to be a proctor, or your spouse or your kids. Just simulate the exam conditions. Like act like, okay, this exam condition. Set a timer. If you're taking a CCMA, set a timer for 3 hours. If you're taking an RMA, set a timer for 2 hours, right? Because you want to act like you're taking a test. And if you put yourself in that mind frame, like you're taking a test, it's going to, hopefully, it should help reduce your anxiety. Okay. That way you kind of know what you're getting into. Sometimes anxiety can get worse when you don't know what you're getting into. Okay. But if you know, okay, I need to stay within this time limit, right? Then if you simulate those testing conditions, you'll kind of get used to, okay, I need to get through this in 3 hours. I tell my students that too. When you're taking those practice tests, give yourself 3 hours. Don't take all day just because you had the time. Give yourself 3 hours, right? Or 2 hours. Another thing I want to mention, and I did talk about this when I did the study tips last week, but make sure you break down the exam content, right? Put it into chunks. This is especially important for you if you have testing anxiety, because it can be overwhelming if you're trying to do so much at one time. So I mentioned in those videos last week about having your downloading the test plan for the test you're taking. So if you're taking a CCMA, you're going to go to Google and look for a free CCMA test plan. And then you're going to look at that test plan and break down the material into chunks. So you might say, okay, today, and this is why you want to give yourself more time. All right. Because you might say, today, I am only going to focus on terminology. I'm only going to study terminology. Right. And then the next day you might say, okay, for this hour, I'm going to focus on, my billing terms, right? My billing terms meaning like AOB, EOB, COB, things like that, right? And then the next hour or the next day, you may say, okay, today I'm going to break this down. I want to go over anatomy today, but today I'm going to do the skeletal system, and then I'm going to do the muscular system. So break it down, and it helps it to be more manageable. Another thing, and I mentioned this the other day, you want to also make sure you're getting enough rest. Try to get enough sleep. Try to get your rest, okay? Especially as you're getting close to the exam, you want to try to get your rest, because not only does it help you with the exam, but it just helps your overall mental health with trying to get some rest. Because if you all know, when you haven't slept, it can make you even more anxious, and it can make it even harder to concentrate. So try to get enough sleep, even if you have to drink like some sleepy time tea. I don't know if you guys ever had that, but I have a sleepy time tea that I use to help me relax, because I actually have trouble sleeping a lot. So I understand if you do too, but when you're leading up to the exam, it's even more crucial to try to get enough sleep and rest. Another thing you can do, guys, is to try to talk to somebody about your anxiety. Okay. Now, one of the things I do recommend is having a counselor or even a therapist that you can talk to help. If you're someone who deals with anxiety on an ongoing basis, I definitely recommend talking to someone that can help you with some relaxation techniques. Now, I gave you a few here with the mindfulness and relaxing and getting focused and having the soft music on, or having a candle lit or something like that. But if you talk to a professional that specializes in this, he or she can really help you with some more relaxation techniques that's specific to you. Okay, even if you got to talk to a friend or family member, or even your study partner, at least try to talk to someone about what you're feeling, your fears, and things like that. And also, self-care. I did mention it on that other video. Self-care, exercise, take a walk if you need to. Get your nails done, ladies. Get your foot massage. Get your, whatever you need to do to relax, go to the spa, whatever that is for you. Sit in a hot tub, in a jacuzzi, whatever you need to do. Just try to do those things. So I'm just going to recap one more time and I'll get to some of these questions. Just anybody that's just joining, I said you want to start early and pace yourself. Okay, you want to have some time so you don't have to cram. Another thing I mentioned was having a relaxed study environment, candles, soothing music, or stay organized. You want a calm, nice, soothing study environment. Use deep breathing techniques, mindfulness, or you know it the mindfulness and meditating. It just helps you to get focused and centered. Okay, focus on the things you can control. Don't try to worry about what can go wrong. Oh, I might get there and I can't take my test because whatever reason, I might get there, I might fail or whatever. Focus on the things you can control, like your schedule, right? Your study habits. Take short, frequent breaks. So every 25 minutes, you may say, okay, I'm gonna take a break every 25 minutes or 5 minutes. Okay, that'll help reduce your anxiety and help prevent you getting burned out. Okay. It also helps you to absorb the information as well. Use positive affirmations. Tell yourself, I'm going to pass. I got this. I can do this. Another one, and this is a big one, simulate exam conditions. I said to make sure you try to have a day or some days where you actually act like you're taking a test. Give yourself a timer, and then maybe have someone pretend to be the proctor. Okay, act like you're taking, even if you got to be in a room at your computer or whatever, how you're going to be at the test, do your practice test that way. So that way you kind of have an idea of what you're getting into. Break down your studying into chunks. Okay. Each section, go one section at a time in chunks. All right. Get enough rest. I mentioned get enough sleep. Also, I mentioned talking to someone about your anxiety, getting some of those relaxation techniques. And then just the extra one I said was practice self-care. Okay. So hopefully these things were helpful to you guys. As I mentioned, I did give some other techniques last week, but this is specifically for people who struggle with test and anxiety. And they get to test day and they, even in school, maybe you struggle in school with your tests. Okay. So let me go back to some of these questions. I've been studying for a month and a half. I feel like I haven't studied enough. So it seemed like maybe if you feel like you've been studying that long and you feel like you haven't studied enough, I want you to download the test plan because you might be overstudying. I do want to mention that, guys, there is a such thing as overstudying. If you go through that test plan, use it as a checklist. If you know this stuff, it's no need to go back over it again. When you go through that test plan and okay, I know this, I know this, I know this, I know this, you don't have to go back over it. That's why I recommend printing it out and using it as a checklist. Hey, Deidre, using it as a checklist. Okay, so you can overstudy. I'm glad you mentioned that. So once you know it, go to something else. Go to those areas that you've been avoiding. Let me put some of these questions up on the screen. Hello, Ms. K. Which study guide should I study? I enroll with school but have textbooks, but you recommended NHA study guide. I'm doing CMAA and where to start studying textbook from school or NHA. So let me see, if you're still in school, you can ask your school, Craig. I don't know. It depends on how they do things at your school. I don't want to overstep because at my school, we enrolled them in NHA right away. and they already are already, they're already going through it while they're in school. Whereas some schools, they don't enroll you until later. So I would check with your school first and see how they want you to do things. And then if you are somebody that's maybe on your own, maybe you already went to school and you're just doing things on your own right now, then I would suggest, go ahead and get the study guide. My study guide at marefreshercourse.com. If you click on that, I have a clinical study guide and I have administrative. The administrative is for people that's taking the CMAA or the CMAS, the administrative. If you're taking like the CCMA, the RMA, or the AAMA, you need to get the clinical study guide. Hey, Talita. Hey, Michelle. You're welcome. So should I go ahead and schedule myself or wait till I'm ready? This is a good question. So I would, if you feel like you still need some more time, I would wait until you're ready. But don't go too far, though. Don't push it off too far. You'll know when you're ready. Somebody asked the last time I was on here, they said, how do I know when I'm ready? You know you're ready when it's like a knowing. It's like a feeling. You'll know you're ready because you would have gone through the test plan and you can check off everything on that test plan. So I would do that, Candace. Go through that test plan. So if you're taking a CCM, I think you said you're taking a CMAA. So go through the CMAA test plan and check off everything you know. If you know all of it, Candace, don't delay it. Just go ahead and schedule it. And then in the meantime, you can be taking the rest of your practice tests if you haven't taken all of them, because you get 6 practice tests on the NHA website. Michelle says, wow, was just thinking of affirmation. So thank you. That is so important, guys. The way what you say to yourself is so important. You got to really believe in yourself. You got to speak it. Even if right away you don't believe it. Let's say you say, I'm going to pass. Even if you don't believe it when you first say it, just keep speaking it, because as you say it, your brain is going to hear it and then you're going to start believing it. Your mind is going to hear what you're saying and then you're going to start thinking, you know what, I can pass. So for the CMA, she said, how many hours you get for the CMAA? Candace, I believe the CMAA is 2 or 3 hours. It might be 2 hours though. Double check though, Candace, it should tell you on the NHA website. It might be 2 hours. But I know it's definitely 2 hours for the RMA, and I know it's definitely 3 hours for the CCMA. Can you challenge the tests if in school? So if you have worked in a capacity of a medical assistant, if you mean challenge the test, or you mean like challenge the eligibility, or you mean like skip the test and just get certified? If you mean skip the test and get certified, you have to contact NHA about that. I don't know. But I know if you mean challenge the eligibility, you can. And it's not really even challenge eligibility. It's just that you're eligible if you have been working. So you don't have to go to school. If you've worked in the capacity of a medical assistant, you can take the test and get certified. So let me know exactly what you mean about that, Simone. If you mean challenge the test and just get certified, I don't know. You got to ask them. But if you mean as far as like the eligibility, then you if you mean the eligibility, then you, if you have experience, you can do that. All right. Kiara says, oh, let me see. Let's see. Kiara says tips for questions where more than one multiple choice could be. Oh, okay. This is a good one. So listen, if this is why ruling out the wrong answers are so important, because then you get to those 2 answers that seem like they can be the right answer, right? I'll give you guys an example. So you might have a question that says something like, how do you greet the patient that walks in? And it'll say, some of them will be just wrong. Some options will say, you tell them to sit down, or, you just nod your head and that's it. Those are incorrect. But then you might come to 2 options that sound right. One of them might be, good morning, Mrs. Jones. I'll be with you in a second, And then one of them might say, good morning, Mrs. Jones. How are you today? Please have a seat. Please sign in and I'll be right with you. Because that other one added, how are you today? It added more personalization. That's going to be the right answer. So Kiara, I always recommend when you have questions like that, especially scenario questions, look at the ones that's most professional. Like you got to kind of look at what the book will want you to say. It's like those questions where you guys ever filled out a job application and you got to do a survey and it says something like, what will you do if you see your coworker stealing? In your mind, you might say, I'm not going to do nothing. That's not my business. But the book answer, what they want you to say is, I'm going to go tell the manager, right? So you always got to kind of think about what the most professional is. So even though they might both sound right, which one is the most professional? Remember, the patient is always first. Okay, the patient, just so you know how they say, businesses say the customer is always first or the customer is always right. You got to kind of think like that as well. And then sometimes you might have, it may not be a scenario question. It may be two answers that just seem the same. Let me see. Let me think of another example. So if you have a question like, dang it, I can't even think of anything right on the top of my head. But if you have two questions that are, dang it, let me see. So, all right, let me see. I can't even think of anything right offhand. But if you have those questions where you just down to two answers, let's say it's not a scenario question and you just really, you know, the other answers are incorrect and you down to two questions, honestly, sometimes you may have to just take a guess. It's better to take a guess than to leave it, of course, you know, because if you leave it, there's no way to get it right. But sometimes you may get down to those last two, and it's just a matter of guessing if you don't know either one, but you know the other ones are absolutely incorrect. But yeah, but like I said, the scenario questions, you just gotta kind of pick the one that's most professional. If I think of something, I'll come back to that, Kiera, if a example question comes in my head. What can you use CCMA for? Certified clinical medical assistant. Certified clinical medical assistant. Certified clinical medical assistant. I have videos the same. Denise, I don't know if you're new here, but I have so many videos on the CCMA. It's the Certified Clinical Medical Assistant certification, and is and accepted by employers who need a certified medical assistant. Hey, Alexis, where's the test plan? You go to Google and just look up CCMA test plan or whatever test you're taking or RMA test plan. Just go to Google and look it up. Can you email me the study test? So guys, I get this question a lot. Can I email? Like people ask me, do I have printouts or anything? Like, do I have study material? I don't have anything that I can send anybody. Everything I do is online. Like my videos that I do, my slides, all of everything is online. My study guide is online. I don't have anything tangible to send anybody. Everything is online. Alexa, do you have tips when taking notes from your videos? I've been writing down the knowledge check questions and questions from the quiz with the answers down so far to go back and look over. Yeah. So so when I mention writing down the notes, so I mean like taking notes on things that you didn't know. So if I'm mentioning things, oh, you like, oh, already got that about notes. I mean like things you may have never seen before, right? So I was going through one of my practice tests, one of the practice tests with one of my coworkers on Tuesday. And there were some things that he was like, oh, I never knew that. So I was like, okay, add that to your notes. It was like the difference between what was it like like a pustule, right? That's a pus field. It wasn't a pustule, it was a pustule, or I can't remember. It was one of those questions. It was like it was something he didn't know. It might have been that question, but anyway, I just shared that to say that whatever you notice that you didn't know already, add that to your notes. That's what I mean. Add those to your notes. And then when I give you like the ranges, you know, like the lab ranges I gave you guys, stuff like that, add it to your notes. So like when I give you the normal range for like your hemoglobin, hematocrit, your red blood cells, white blood cells, add that to your notes. You know, your formulas, when I'm giving you guys that stuff in the videos, add that to your notes. So that's what I mean. And then when I say taking notes from the tests, from the practice tests and quizzes, adding things that you didn't already know, adding that stuff to your notes. Hopefully that makes sense and answered your question, Alexis. Not skip the test, but take the test to test out and get my state certification. So certification is not a state certification, is national. So I just want to mention that a lot of people mention state certification or state boards. Certification is not a state by state thing. Certification is national, but take the test out and get my state certificate. I'm not exactly sure. I would ask NHA. I'm not exactly sure what you meant by that, Simone. Because when you say test the test out, like that's yeah, you got to ask them. You got to ask them about that. But they have their own textbooks. So which one should I study first, NHA or textbook from the Institute? I'm confused where to start. Cray, are you still in school? If you're still in school, just focus on your textbook. Just focus on your textbook for right now. Candace says, I've been working in the hospital for a while, over 2 years, but what's on the test is definitely going to be different from what. So this is a good point. Candace said, I've been working in the hospital for over a while, for 2 years. But so listen, when you have experience, I'll be honest with you guys, it will help you, but it can also hurt you. It can help and hurt. In the way that it will help you, because those scenario questions and stuff, like there are some things that's going to help you because you already know how to do certain things. Even okay, I'll use EKG for an example, right? Let's say you've been working in cardiology, but you're not certified, but you've been doing EKGs. When you go take your test and you see EKG placement, it's going to help you because you're going to be thinking about, okay, I know where I place V1 and V2 because I can think about where I'm doing it. So certain things that help you, but the places that it hurts you is that, again, it goes back to the book answer, right? So I'll give you guys an example. Where I work, if a person where I work at PRN, I used to work there full time. If a patient comes in and they need a prescription request, then that front desk person will come get one of the clinical staff. That's how we do it in the office. However, if you see that question on NHA or CMA, CCMA, or AMA or whatever, their answer is not going to be go get a clinical staff. Their answer is going to be that front desk person is going to take that message. So in real life, although front desk doesn't take those type of messages, they send it to the clinical staff. The book way is that, listen, that front desk person, it is within their scope to take that message. So they need to take that message. So there are some things that you got to kind of ignore the way you do it in the office because that's not necessarily the book way. So yeah, that is true, Candace. Some stuff is different. But again, some stuff is going to help you though, because you're going to know how to do certain things. All right. I can test for CCMA as well though. Yep. Hey, Tori. I haven't seen you in a while. Tori, let me know how everything is going. You are welcome, Tori. I hope everything is all well. Let me know how you've been doing. I'm glad you were able to tune in today. I missed you. Simone says, thanks. You're welcome, Simone. I take my test in 1.9 days. Haven't studied a thing because I'm scared. I don't know what to study. Okay, so Taisha says, I don't know what to study. So I don't know what test you're taking, but make sure you go back and look at my study tips video that I did last week. Well, today, look at this. If you just joined me and you missed what I mentioned earlier, when I end this, you'll be able to watch it again. So make sure you watch the tips that I gave earlier. And also the videos I did last week on the video I did last week on study tips. You got to download the test plan for the test you're going to be taking. And I don't know if you're in school or not, but you're going to have to if you're still in school, you're taking a CCMA, yeah. So you're going to have to get the test plan and then you can go from there. But it's so much. I don't even know. It's so much, Taisha. Like you're gonna have to probably watch the video that I did last week on the test plan as well as the study tips because you mentioned you don't know what to study. You gotta just go through. You're gonna have to watch that video. You're gonna have to watch the video on the test plan because I mentioned that on that video. So guys, if sometimes you might hear me say go watch that video. Only reason why, because honestly, you guys can imagine, I get a lot of questions from you guys between this channel, having this channel, my emails, my group. I get a lot of the same questions and I teach. I'm in my class right now. I let my students go. I get a lot of the same questions and it's a lot to say to say the same thing again and again. So that's why a lot of times I'll tell you guys, just go watch that video, because it's a lot to constantly repeat myself to say the same thing. So that's why. So that's why a lot of times I just tell you guys to watch the video, because it's a lot. It's a lot, especially if you're starting from scratch. If you're starting from scratch, then you gotta kind of watch my videos, because it's a lot. I will go through your videos. My school hybrid, it's like the lessons not matching up with it. Oh, okay. So Taisha, okay, I see. Okay, so you are in school. Okay, I got you. Your school is hybrid. It's like the lessons not matching up with the test, if that makes sense. Got you. Let me see. She said it's like the lessons not matching up with the test. So sometimes okay. So do you have the study material for the test you're taking, Taisha? Let me know. Do you have the study material? So if you don't have like the study guide, I would recommend getting the study guide for the test you're taking for the CCMA, because it'll give you the modules. My study guide, my MA refresher course, I do have all of those modules on there. But if you're saying that what the lessons you're getting in school is not the same as what you see on the test, then yeah, I see how that can be confusing. So I would, when you're preparing for the test, I will go by those modules on your study guide, so that way you know. And then also, again, that test plan is going to be so important. So if you want like a free option, guys, just go Google NHA CCMA test plan and use the test plan to know everything you need to be studying. So hopefully that helped. Alexa says a math portion I'm having trouble with. I'll do a day just on the dosage calculations. Alexis, did you see? I have a video on dosage calculations on my channel. Did you see that video? So for anybody who's struggling with dosage calculations, on my channel, I have dosage calculations 1 and 2. Watch 1 first and then 2. Okay, watch 1 first and then 2. 1 will help with the foundation of everything you want to need for 2, because part 2 is pediatric. Part 2 is pediatrics. A lot of my classmates, and when we do your practice test, we get like a, oh, okay, live by your videos. When we do your practice test, we get like a 50. We have access to the NHA a month. Okay, so my practice test, Taisha, or you mean the practice test on NHA? So you said a lot of people, you said when we do your practice test, or do you mean that the practice test on NHA? Oh. But I will then only have a month. So a month is enough, Taisha. Taisha says I won't have a month to study. Enough. A month is enough, Taisha. That's enough. You just gotta use the just make sure you break it down into chunks. So you could have a month. You could say this week I'm gonna focus on this stuff. Today I'm gonna focus on this. So just break it down. Let me see. Oh, on the NHA. Okay, I see what you're saying. So when you do the practice test, you only get, and we have access. Oh, so I will get that. Oh man. So Taisha, maybe y'all want to look. And so if you're saying that, I get what you're saying. Maybe look into maybe my study guide, my MA refresher course. If you want, maybe look into that, because I went by the testing plan to create that. So everything that I have on my MA refresher course, the study guide, is literally everything that you have to know for the test. So maybe consider doing that, and we take the test. So I would get, okay, yeah. Which one? What you talking about, Simone? Simone says, "Sheesh." I can't. I don't even know what you're referring to in that one, Simone. Candace said, I need to get a link for being an affiliate. So guys, I sell a MA refresher course. If anybody wants to be an affiliate, meaning you can earn a commission whenever you send it. So especially for you guys that's on here that have my course, if you want to earn some extra money, you can sign up to be an affiliate for my course. And so instead of telling them to go to marefreshercourse.com, you would give them your affiliate link. And if somebody buys the course with your link, you'll get a commission. And the platform that I use, Teachable, is the one that's paying you the commission, and they pay out monthly. So every month you'll get a commission based on how many people, use your link. So Candace, if you already signed up to be an affiliate, just email me and I can send you your link. So you should have gotten a link. You should have gotten an email. So this is how it works, guys. So when you sign up to be an affiliate, you'll get an email, and then it's going to prompt you to make a username and password. And then when you log into it, when you make a username and password, you will be able to get a link when you log in with that username and password. But if for some reason you can't find your link, it's easy for me to go in there and send it to you. So you have to email me. You use the email. You can email me at the email that you get when you sign up. So you'll get an email from like Miss K support, and then you can easily reply back to that email if you need to. Oh no, Taisha, please don't be sorry. Don't be sorry for all the comments. If you have questions, I would rather you ask. Yes, please ask. Don't be sorry for the comments, please. Yeah, don't be sorry for the comments. And Alexis, I see. No, I haven't. Is it on YouTube or the modules, Dr. Hill? I don't even know what you're referring to, Alexis. Hold on, let me go back up. Oh, the video. Okay, the videos. No, Alexis, it's on my channel. So the videos, my dosage calculations is on my channel. So if you go on my channel, or if you just do Miss K dosage calculations, hopefully it comes right up. And it's 2 videos. It's dosage calculations 1 and dosage calculations 2. By chance, did you provide the tips with those? Yes, I did, Jenna. I'm just answering questions now. I did provide the tips. So you can, I don't know if you can rewind this video while it's live. Sometimes you can. If you can rewind it, you can rewind. If you are able to, you can rewind it, or just watch it once I end it. Once I end it, it'll be available to rewatch. And good luck on taking your test. She's taking her test on Wednesday. So good luck with that, Jenna. Simone said the math. Oh, the math that you were saying. She's too. Yeah. So a lot of people struggle with the math. So I'll be honest with you guys. I'm not a math person either. I struggle with math. And the reason why I make it so simple is because I struggle with math. So I try to make it as simple as possible to where I would understand it. And the good thing is that we don't have to go too into detail with the math. All we have to do is the basic dosage calculations. We don't get into all that other stuff. We just basic math. Do you the RMA exam? Yes. My study guide, marefreshercourse.com, is where you can get it. Somebody said, where can I get your study guide? It's right there. The website is right there on the screen, marefreshercourse.com, www.marefreshercourse.com. And yes, it helps with the RMA, the CCMA, the CMA, the AMCA. And why does it help with all of them? Because all of the same information is on each test, y'all. The same. Listen, if y'all didn't already look at that study plan video I did last week, we looked at all of the test plans and they all have the same information on it. So my videos help with all of the certification exams and my study guide, because all of the information is the same. Okay. They're all of the same information. I'm being honest with you guys. When you look at the test plan, they're asking the same things. Now you might see one study plan maybe has a little bit more on it than another, but they're all the same. Everything, and I say this all the time, terminology is the same on each test. Anatomy is the same. Law and ethics, everything is the same on all your tests. So yes, I help with all of the certifications. I'm actually thinking about getting each one of the certifications just so I can really show y'all. Like, look, I had an RMA certification years ago when I first became a medical assistant, but I was very young. I was 19. I did not keep up with it. I was young, irresponsible. I did not keep up with it, but I'm thinking about just doing it again. I'm thinking about getting all of the certifications, to be honest, just to have it, just so I can really show you guys that, yes, I'm helping you guys with all of the certifications. I take my NHA. Oh, Miranda's taking her test tomorrow. Oh my goodness. You said you feel okay. So first of all, it's normal to be nervous, but if you feel underprepared, you need to go on Google right now and go to CCMA, go to Google and look up CCMA test plan and use it as a checklist to make sure you know that information on there. And if you know it, you are good. If it's something on there you don't know, go back to your study material and make sure you know it. Okay, guys, it's been 45 minutes. I did not plan to be on here this long. Let me know if you guys have any other questions. If anybody would like to call in, let me drop the call in link. I forgot to do that in the beginning. If anybody, Taisha, I don't know if you're still watching. I know you had a lot of questions. So if you want to click that, you guys don't have to come on camera. But if anybody wants to actually use the link and call in, I meant to do that earlier. Sorry about that. If anybody wants to do that, I'll wait a few minutes and see. If not, I'm going to end this in a few moments just to see if anybody has anything. No, I won't be going live later. Just now, just right now. So guys, for those of you that don't know, I've been going live every day this month. My goal is to go live up until the 31st, every single day, literally. And so usually I've been going live in the evening, but today and yesterday, it just was easier for me to just go live during the day. So no, I won't be going live later, but I will be going live tomorrow. I don't know tomorrow, I don't know what time I'll be going live tomorrow yet. If you guys haven't already, please like this video and give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. And don't forget, y'all, I have medical assistant t-shirts. I have the stethoscope necklace with my name on it on my site. You just have to put your name in the notes on the shopping cart page. But let me get closer so you guys can see that. Hopefully it's in the camera. Let me see. I don't know. Hopefully I can't see if I'm showing it to you. Hopefully you can see it. Hopefully you can see it. All right, guys, I don't see any other questions. So I'm going to get ready to let you all go. NHA credential, your upgraded NHA credential. Let me see. Y'all, speaking of NHA, I just got an email from them. NHA digital badges. We're eager to tell you there's nothing you need. Oh, so you'll get a badge. Okay, NHA is going to be giving badges. Tisha says, how do I call? Let me leave the link. So Tisha, you can use this link right here. It's StreamYard, the platform I'm using. If you click on the link, it'll direct you to the to be able to call in. So I'll give that I'll wait a few more minutes and to see if Tisha's able to get in. I'm sorry, I missed your question. What's the difference between RMA and CMA exam and job wise? So as far as exam wise, I already broke those down in a video, but as far as job wise, not a big difference. Most employers, they simply want you to just be certified. So whether it's the RMA or CMA, they just want you to be certified. There are some employers though that do prefer one over the other, but it's not all employers. So it just kind of depends. Just a quick difference: the CMA is a 5-year certification, and RMA is a 3-year. But as far as all the differences with the exam and all of that, I did a video on that, and then you can always do the Google the test plans for both of them as well. I went through the test plans last week on a video. I think you were here. I know you were here last week. I don't know if you were on that video. But you can also go through the test plans to see the differences as well if you go to Google. Okay, so Tisha is here. Hey, Tisha, did you want to be on camera? No, you don't want to be on camera? Okay, so you do want to be on camera? You okay with being on camera? You are? Okay. Let me see. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good.
I'm sorry, I got my pajamas on.
That's okay. You still look pretty.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I'm sorry. I just wanted to enter the chat because I have a few questions.
Okay.
Just to give you a brief story, I haven't been in school for about 17 years.
Okay.
I took the course 17 years ago.
Gotcha.
Now I'm going back to becoming a CMA. I trying to do the refresher courses, trying to brush up on my skills.
Okay.
I do currently work as a CNA, but I'm crossing back over to medical assistant.
Okay.
I've been going over some of the coursework like the AMP, and then I went over the abbreviations and all that stuff.
Okay.
Um, I'm trying to find like a course outline for like the clerical part, and also it's another part I'm missing, clerical, and like going over like pharmacy.
Got you. Okay. Pharmacology.
Correct. Yes.
Got you. Okay. So what are you using? Do you have a
Um,
study guide?
well, I went over the AAMA study guide.
Okay.
And then I also have this book here. I don't know if a lot of girls are using this, but this is new for me. It's this book here.
Oh, is that
You can see it.
biometrics? Oh,
Yeah.
biometrics. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay. So I've seen some people with that book. I'm not too familiar with it. The book that I see the most is like it's called Kaplan. It's a Kaplan book. But I
Okay.
have seen some people with that book. I don't know. Are you in my Facebook group? Medical.
No, I'm not
Okay.
on Facebook.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, no worries.
Okay.
I was going to say you can ask about it in the group because I know some people have used it. But I would say so. Look at in which test are you taking? The CCMA?
I didn't know there was a difference, but I'm taking a
Mhm.
CMA.
Oh, you're taking the CMA through the AAMA?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. So you definitely want to get prepared for that. And you said do you have an online study guide?
I have their online study guide.
Oh, so perfect. Okay, so you got the study guide, and does it have practice tests within it too?
I haven't registered yet, but they do have a practice test online. But I just
Okay.
want to be like all in. I want to be prepared because it is
Yeah.
200 questions.
Yeah, it
Um,
is. Yeah. So
it's real intense.
I would say in addition to that, I mean, my study guide is a option as well. I have one at marefreshercourse.com. That's an option as well if you want to just add to, what you're doing. I've had a pretty good passing rate with that, as well as people telling me that it was more detailed because sometimes when you're going through the study guides, it could be a lot. And what I did with my study guide, I just made it literally focus on what's going to be on the test. Like I didn't put a bunch of fluff in there. All of the practice tests that I got on there, like I get them from the websites. Like I get them from NHA, I get them from AAMA and RMA, the AMT and things like that. So that way is preparing you specifically for that test. So
Okay.
I would just say go through, take it section by section. So when you go through, it's different modules. So you mentioned the AMP, right? So with the AMP, and for those of you that don't know, AMP is anatomy and physiology. So I would just go body system by body system. Make sure you know the structure. Let me start with the function. Make sure you know the function of each body system, right? And then make sure you know the structures of each system. So, like, what are the organs of that system and what does that organ do? So, make sure you're familiar with that. And then also some diseases and disorders of each system, because they'll throw some of those out there, some diseases, disorders. And then on the terminology side, and this is for anybody that's listening, for terminology, you got to make sure you can recognize the body system, the terminology for each body part. So like cephalo is head, right? Encephalo is brain. Renal and nephro is kidney. So make sure you know the terminology for each body part as well. You also mentioned pharmacology. Well, pharmacology, you've really got to make sure you are. I recommend writing the formulas in a different section of your notes. So, like your, if you got to convert pounds to kilograms and vice versa, have that in a section. Your Celsius to Fahrenheit and vice versa. Your weight, your inches to centimeters, and your I mentioned pounds and kilograms already, but stuff like that, have all of that separate. Okay. And then another thing I was going to mention too, as far as the math, the pharmacology, is not a whole lot of math. You really just got to, once you know those formulas, that's why I mentioned doing it separate. Once you know those formulas, you got it. It'll just be a matter of plugging in whatever numbers they give you on a test. Another thing with pharmacology is make sure your classification, your drug classifications, you know those. Because, and I will tell you guys this, the CMA tends to be, that test is a little bit more difficult. I'll be honest with you guys. It is not to scare you though. don't want to scare you. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to scare you, but
It's
you
okay.
are taking a test that tends to be just a little bit more difficult because they ask you more in detail questions, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I would just say use the test plan. So you got the study material. If you haven't already, go to Google and do CMA AAMA test plan.
Mm-hmm. I
Use it
got
as
that.
a checklist. Yep, use it as a checklist. So that way you like, look, okay, I know all this. Check off everything you know that's on the test plan, and then focus on the things you don't know or the things you struggle with, you
Mm-hmm.
know.
And
So
then I
hope
also want to get your study guide. Is
okay.
that under your page?
So it's at MA. If you go to www.marefreshercourse.com, it's there.
Okay.
So yeah, it makes, and that's anybody that's watching. If you need a study guide, if you have the study material, perfect. You don't necessarily need it, but I just give it as an option if you want to say, I just need a little bit more. And I'm on there explaining the lessons to you. So if you somebody that need that audio too, as I'm going through the modules, I'm explaining everything, and then I give you a quiz right after the module, and then at the end there are several practices. So altogether, I got about 400 and something practice questions on the study guide.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah. So just, and when is your test?
Well, I haven't scheduled my date yet because I just want
Okay.
to make sure this time I have the knowledge. I know I'm
Got you.
confident.
Got you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Write down my email too, Tisha.
Okay.
Is it Tisha or Tisha?
Tisha.
Tisha. Write down my email. It's K
Mm-hmm.
HEART K Hart
Okay.
CPR
CPR.
at gmail.com, and keep in touch with me. Let me know like when you see
Yes.
and stuff like that, because I'm
Okay.
curious to see. And thank you for coming on here. I've had people calling before, but nobody ever came on camera. So,
I'm tuned in. I'm ready. Let's go.
I see. Listen, and I believe you're gonna do it because you're I can see you're passionate about it. So you gonna pass. You're gonna get on there. You're gonna pass. But
I
just
gotta show you something. I have my
okay,
little. I don't know if I can turn the camera around, but let me show
okay.
you. I got it written all over my house.
I know
I
that's
will pass.
listen.
It's
Affirmation.
all over my house.
Listen, I literally just talked about affirmations. Listen, y'all,
Mm-hmm.
you gotta put it. Listen, she got it on her window. I'm pretty sure you probably got it on your mirror and stuff too,
My
right?
mirror. I got it in my car, in my room.
Listen, Tisha,
Yes.
I might gotta make this a clip. I might end up separating this part of the video and make this a clip and putting this up because I love that. And I love that you called in. But listen, y'all, those affirmations are so key because it's so easy to talk negative about ourselves. It's so easy to, especially if you have that anxiety, it's so easy to say, oh my God, I'm gonna fail. But just start believing that you can. And like I said, even if you don't believe it right away, just start saying it and writing it, and you will pass. You can pass.
You can pass. You got to put it out there. You got to speak it. You got to believe it.
Mm-hmm.
You got
So
this.
as a man thinketh, so is he. Remember that what you think you are is what you are and what you will be.
Yes. Yes.
So yeah, Tisha, just use that test plan and go through and I know you said you got the study material already. You might surprise yourself when you take that first practice test. You might know more than what you think you do.
This is true.
I'm glad you called in. Definitely keep in contact with me, email me, and let me know how you're doing. Like when you schedule, and let me know how you're doing your first practice test too. Let me know what you get.
Okay. Thank you so much. And
You're
I appreciate
welcome.
everything you're doing. Thank you so much.
No problem. And I'll be live tomorrow. So tune in tomorrow if you can. I don't know what time yet, but I'll be live tomorrow for sure.
Okay. Thank you so much.
All right. You're welcome. All right,
Take care.
guys. You too. Thank you. All right, guys. So if anybody else wants to call in, let me know. If not, I'm going to get ready to get off here. I'm going to drop the link one more time for anybody else that may want to call in. Hey, Denise, you're welcome. You're welcome, Elle. If anybody else wants to call in, you don't have to come on camera. But I'll just leave that. Oh, my hair, y'all. I got to do something with this hair. I didn't even realize it was looking like this. Whew. Let me know. And I don't see any more questions coming up. So I'm going to go ahead. Hey, Mercy. I'm going to go ahead and get ready to end this because we're almost at an hour. I did not expect to be on here this long. I literally was going to come on here, give those tips and get off. But I'm so glad that Tisha called in. I'm going to make that I'm going to separate that and make it its own clip. All right, guys. I don't see any other questions coming up. I love y'all. Y'all have a good day. Thank you for tuning in. Everybody that's about to take your test, Good luck to you guys. Everybody that just passed, congratulations to everyone. I'm going to be going live tomorrow, but I don't know exactly what time. So make sure if you're not already subscribed, you subscribe and hit the notification bell, because what happens is when you hit the notification bell, you'll get notified when I schedule a live, and you'll get notified when I also when I go live. I was trying to see how to purchase a study guide. I don't find it. Mercy, have you gone to marefreshercourse.com? If you go to if you can see on the screen, it says www. Let me post the link in the chat. Hold on one second. Let me go to MA Refresh, because what tests are you taking? Let me know what test you're taking, Mercy, so I can link the correct one. I'll give you the direct link. I'm gonna put it in the chat. Let me know in the comments which test you're taking, and so I can send you the link to the correct to the exact one, since you're saying you can't find it. But it should come up if you go to MA Refresher Course. But I'll post the exact link in the chat. Matter of fact, let me just post both of them. So for the clinical, let me go here. Hold on. Let me go to learn more. So this is for the clinical refresher. I'll just post this one. So clinical refresher course. And if you can't click on the link, guys, you may have to just copy and paste it. So this is the clinical refresher course. Oh, perfect. You're taking a CCMA. So that's the one you need. I just posted it in the chat. And then let me go back and let me post a link for the administrative study guide as well. So if you need the administrative study guide, I'm going to post that one too. You're welcome, Mercy. Administrative study guide. So I posted that too. So if you are taking the CCMA, the RMA, the CMA, AAMA, or if you're taking the AMCA, you need the clinical study guide. You need the clinical version. I put that in the chat. If you're taking the CMAA or the CMAS, you need the administrative study guide. The clinical study guide has both administrative and clinical, so you don't need both. I had a few people accidentally buy both. Okay. You only need one. So if you're taking administrative, get the administrative one. If you're taking clinical, clinical has both clinical and administrative. Okay. Someone says, I'm nervous. I don't know, how would you recommend a study? So I just gave some study tips, Black Knight. So I'm about to end this video. You can watch this video. I just gave some tips for testing anxiety. And also last week, I gave some study tips too. So just to let you know, it's normal to be nervous and scared, but I just went through a list of about 10 tips. And then also last week, I also gave 10 tips as well for studying, as well as some tips on when you're actually taking a test. Okay, so make sure you check that video out. All righty, guys. I'm going to get ready to get out of here. I'm still at work. I need to leave. So I'm going to get ready to end this. You are so welcome, Mercy. And just remember, you only need one. You don't need both of them. I've had quite a few people buying both, and I'll be having a refund for the other one because they buy both accidentally. So you only need one, though. Only one. All right, guys. I'm a little over an hour in. I will see you all tomorrow. I'll be live tomorrow. I just don't know what time yet. And guys, please like the video if you haven't already. Whether you're watching on Facebook or Instagram, it helps out. Let me see. I saw a new comment. Oh, okay. Black Knight says, thank you. My school recommended you. Oh, that's good to know. Oh, okay. Black Knight says, we watch you in class and I've seen you live and came. Oh, thank you. Well, I'm glad you're here. I'm so glad you're here. But just make sure you look at this video. I'm about to end it. So watch this video. And then the one that I did last week on study tips. That's going to help you a lot. And then also, guys, just to remind you guys, I do have the MA refresher course, the study guide. I just mentioned it. I don't know if you saw that. You had just came in, Black Knight, but I have an online study guide as well at marefreshercourse.com. And I linked them in the chat. So if anybody needs it, check it out. and then, let me know what you think about it. I'm always open to feedback, questions, all of that. The quizzes and practice tests you can only take one time, because that's what the platform, it only lets you take it one time. However, if you email me and you're like, Miss K, I feel like I didn't do well on that one, can you reset it? I can easily reset it. All right, guys. I love y'all. Have a good day. See y'all tomorrow.